Hello there. Today we will do poem number 2, An Elementary School Classroom in a Slum from Flamingo, the main course book of class 12. This poem is written by Stephen Spender. He is an English poet, novelist and essayist. Theme of this poem is social injustice and inequality in society. Stephen Spender has written a lot on this theme. This poem brings forth the pathetic means very sad, pitiable. So this poem brings forth the pathetic condition of kids in slums. Towards the end, poet also offers a solution to end this inequality and give these children a better chance to grow and progress. Let us begin. Stanza 1. Far, far from gusty waves, these children's faces, like rootless weeds, the hair torn round their pallor, the tall girl with a weighed down head, the paper seeming boy with rat's eyes, the stunted, unlucky heir of twisted bones, reciting a father's gnarled disease, his lesson from his desk. At back of the dim class, one unnoted, sweet and young. His eyes live in a dream of squirrel's game in tree room other than this. Let us see what the poet is saying. Far, far from gusty waves, these children's faces like rootless weeds. The faces of these children do not show any enthusiasm or excitement. They are like rootless weeds. Rootless means without the much needed support. They lack any certainty and stability, and weeds are unwanted plants. So, they are like rootless weeds or unwanted with no support system. The hair torn round their pallor, that is, no one ever takes care to comb their hair, and their faces are dull. The tall girl with a weighed down head. Weighed down due to the responsibilities, poverty, weakness. The poet is describing some of the children in the class. The tall girl who seems to be exhausted completely, both physically and mentally, because of all these burdens. The paper seeming boy with rat's eyes. So there is this second boy who is as thin as paper and his eyes are full of anxiety. He is frightened and lives like rats, ever searching for something. This something may be food, acceptance, and love. But he is frightened of almost everyone around. Then there is another boy, the stunted, unlucky heir of twisted bones, reciting a father's gnarled disease, his lesson from his desk. The poet says that these children get diseases in inheritance and not any wealth or property, name or fame. Such physical disabilities add to their problems and hardships. Then, at back of the dim class, that is this class with very little light, also highlighting lack of hope in such scenario. So, at back of the dim class sits one unnoted sweet and young boy. His eyes live in a dream in spite of his pathetic present condition. The child has hope in his eyes, dreams of a better tomorrow. He is not present in the class mentally and is looking out at the squirrel who is free, full of energy, moving from one tree to another without any hesitation, without any chains. The child is more interested in that world outside. Literary devices that are clearly visible in this stanza are simile. Children are compared to rootless weeds, like rootless weed. So simile is when we use words like, as, or like to compare. two things. Then you also have metaphor. Boy is compared to paper as he is thin, paper seeming boy. In metaphor also comparison is there, but we do not use words like as or like to compare. The comparison is more direct. Coming to stanza 2, on sour cream walls, donations, Shakespeare's head, cloudless at dawn, civilized dome, riding all cities, belled flowery, Tyrolese valley, open-handed map, awarding the world its world, and yet, for these children, these windows, not this map their world, where all their futures painted with a fog, a narrow street sealed in with a lead sky, far, far from rivers, capes, and stars of words. The poet tells about the condition of the class on sour cream walls, that is, unpleasant old walls that have not been painted or repaired for years. Hang the list of people who have donated for the construction of the classroom, furniture, etc. Then there is a portrait of Shakespeare, whose bald head gives the impression of rising sun at the horizon and is semicircular like a dome. It seems to be behind all the cities. You see, Shakespeare is a playwright who is widely read across the world. In fact, he has inspired many. He has cleared the doubts from many minds. So, cloudless at dawn, that is clear, full of warmth and hope. There is a picture of Tyrolese Valley where there are beautiful belled flowers. Then there is an open-handed map. It is world which is generous, ready to accept, which is very liberal, awarding the world its world. It means the map shows the world as it is determined by the powerful leaders. Even in this picture, you can see how incongruent these pictures look on the sour cream wall. And yet, for these children, these windows from where all they see and experience is poverty, misery, depravity, and pain is their real world and not the world depicted in this map. It is almost impossible for these children to relate to this world and understand it. The reality of their world is even their future is painted with a fog. That is, it is unclear, consisting of confusion only. The windows of these classrooms open out to narrow streets, sealed, that is shut in with a lead sky, dark sky, which is really far, far away from beautiful rivers, capes. Capes means mountains and stars of words. That is meaningful education. Education has the ability to change the present and future. Education can liberate them from the restricted and impoverished existence. But it seems even education is unable to do anything to improve their dark future. All the symbols of positivity appear to be dark for these slum children in the elementary classroom. Now, the literary devices. First, metaphor. Walls are described to be dull as sour cream. The future of the kids is described as limited, narrow street sealed with a lead sky. Then you also have assonance. You see, assonance is repetition of vowel sound E, like flowery, Tyrolese, valley. Then we have allusion. Allusion is an expression designed to call something to mind without mentioning it explicitly. It is also an indirect or passing reference. For example, reference to well-known person or places like Shakespeare's head, Tyrolese valley has been made as a passing reference to tell about the things in the world. Then we also have repetition here. Far, far is being repeated. Now let us stop here today. We will do the remaining two stanzas in the next class. Till then, thank you. Keep reading.